Hey, hey, text notification squad, who's coming in? I just saw Hazel's comment. And Hazel, as you know, it is not a race. This is why I do the 15-minute countdown to make sure that the text notification squad gets their text before we go live, because it takes about 2 minutes. Because remember, it's an automated system. And from the time that it goes live, it takes about 2 minutes for it to be able to go through the whole system to get the text out to you. And then if there's some sort of delay or backlog, it can take longer. The purpose of being on the text notification squad is to ensure that you get a notification each and every time, as well as being invited to private broadcasts off platform. So it's not about who gets it first, because YouTube, the platform, is going to be able to send out their notifications first when they send them out, if they send them out. So let's not think about it as a race, okay? Think about it as a service to make sure that even if YouTube hiccups or Facebook hiccups, that you get your notification. Welcome in, everybody. Go ahead and throw up those 1010 so I see who's here from the text notification squad. Everybody, I'm just getting the thumbnail and stuff together, so give me a few moments. I'm not reading comments right now. I'm just trying to get this stuff done. Oh, okay. I got you, Hazel. I just remember in the beginning of the text notification squad, people used to be like, I got my YouTube text first, but it's not really about first, but thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, her story. Hey, everybody who's early. Welcome in the house. I'm just trying to put on some eyebrows right now and some concealer. But today is a makeup-free day because I am doing boxes, and that's where my priority is today. This is a conversation that came over from the Facebook page. So we're just having a brief discussion, hopefully. Like that discussion yesterday on Aquaman went so quick. So hopefully we can have another quick discussion today. Wasn't that studio audience discussion yesterday so good? The infamous Kiki, you know how I feel about people telling me about what to do with my body or my face. You know how I feel about it. Oh, wow. Here we go. The countdown is on. Boom, boom, into my room up next. You know what that means. It's time to go. Hey. Into my room. Hey. Oh my goodness. I have to get this. Hey, welcome in everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. I am just putting on the finishing knockout touches for us to jump into our subject. Where's my hole? Get my hole together. All right. Speaking of hole, that's what we're talking about today. A woman who don't like it in the hole. Listen, let's not be vulgar. I'm not going to be vulgar. I'm not going to be vulgar. All right. So you know what? Let's get live on these other platforms. All right. Hey, hey, hey. We are live on LinkedIn. We're live on Twitter. And we are live on Facebook. Hey. Hey, hey. All right. So we have an interesting topic today, which I don't typically do, but we had a conversation which got heated on my Facebook page. When I tell you, the conversation got very riveted over there. We're talking about this woman. We're talking about this woman who has decided that listen, you know what? I will read it. Let's read it. Let's just go ahead and read the thing. Welcome in everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I am your host, Tanya TKO. I am a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I hope you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments for what self-love or self-abuse looks like in your life. And today we're talking about this woman who has decided that she hates sex, right? Here, let me show you. So this is my Facebook page right here. Let me just zoom this all the way in so that we can get to the meat and potatoes of this whole discussion right here, what we're talking about. So this woman says, I hate sex. Even if I get married, I won't allow my husband to touch me. His duty is to work and take care of my needs. Dot, dot, dot. That's all. Listen, this is problematic. Problematic. And we got into this huge back and forth where asexual people, listen, you know what? We're going to talk about this here today. We're going to jump into the full crux of it because asexual people came out passionately attacking me. And I thought to myself, well, with all this passion, but you know what? I'm just going to keep that part to myself. I'm going to keep that part to myself. And I'm just going to read for you all what my statement was. And I'm also open to, let me tell, let's, you know what? Let's just go to my statement. Let's go to my statement first, right? So I said, ladies, stop this. And I said, on the one hand, we have males empowered into nonsense. On the other, we have women emboldened into foolishness. If you quote unquote hate intimacy and or intercourse, then a romantic relationship may not be for you. Healthy adult romantic relationships require intimacy and at least a neutral, asexual feeling towards sex. If you feel hatred or aversion, and I put a strike through on the aversion, you must work on your issues first. Remember, the goal is healthy relationships. The type of partner attracted to an unhealthy human, or an unhealed human, cannot possibly create a healthy union. Dysfunction attracts and breeds dysfunction. Heal yourself, hashtag heal yourself, hashtag self-love, hashtag inner work. And I did an update. So listen, I did an update. I did an update on that. And the update was I did a strike through on the word aversion. And I am open to being convinced about the argument about whether or not a person who is averse to sex can have healthy romantic relationships. I know for a fact that if you hate sex, if you have a hatred towards it, there's something in there that needs to be addressed and healed. That is my take on that. If there is somebody who can show me that you can hate sex and still have healthy relationships, romantic adult relationships, then let me know. And there were a lot of people putting a lot of different words in my mouth about this particular meme. And so I wanted to come out. I mean, you can see there are over 1,000 comments, 332 shares. I was going back and forth in the comments with people. And so here, let's talk about it today. I'll open up the phone lines too if you all want the opportunity, because there were people who were how do I put this? There were a lot of different people who were becoming accusatory, who were putting words in my mouth, who were then coming out and saying I was making it dangerous for asexual people. Let me just expound upon my stance, right? First of all, I have an associate who is asexual. Asexual does not mean that you hate intercourse. You just don't have an interest in it. You don't have an interest in sexual intercourse. If you have problems with intimacy is not just sexual. Intimacy is not even physical. Intimacy starts long before any hand is put anywhere. There was a person who responded to this, and the person responded by saying, just marry your dad, simple. And people were like, ha, 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 right? But nonetheless, right? My issue with this person's statements are trifold. Number one, she's talking about having a hatred towards sex. Hatred towards sex is indicative of something else going on internally, right? Then she says, I won't allow my husband to touch me. You won't allow your husband to touch you? Are we talking about no type of intimate touch? Are we talking about entering into a union with a person who doesn't come in with the understanding that intercourse is just not something that is a part of your relationship, right? So the issues that I have with this is number one, this thing that she's talking about hating sex, but wanting to get married and wanting to get married to a person who is coming in with a different relationship with sex instead of finding a person who is disinterested in having intercourse but fantasizing about rejecting her future husband from any type of touch, right? And then on top of that, the icing on the cake is to then add his duty is to work and take care of my needs. Dot, dot, dot. That's all. So his only duty is to work and take care of your needs. This is a person who is expressing a tremendous amount of trauma and unhealed things going on the inside. Let's not pretend as if this is an asexual issue. This is an issue with a woman who feels a level of emboldened entitlement and also disregard and disrespect for her partner, where she is fantasizing about rejecting a person who is not even in a relationship with her rather than seeking out healthy unions and coming into it with the understanding that relationships are give and take. It is nobody's duty. And people were trying to put words in my mouth saying that I was pretending as if that relationships have an exchange of sex for money so that if you are not having intercourse that you don't deserve to be taken care of. No, 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 no. A person who states that it is somebody else's duty to do XYZ and that is all while you're fantasizing about rejecting them, this is not function. This is dysfunction. This isn't a healthy relationship. Going into relationships unhealed like this is not self love. Taking the time out to figure out why you hate intercourse. Taking the time to heal whatever wounds exist in there that brought up why you hate intercourse. So now we are live on Facebook right now. But where are the thousands of people who were commenting there? I can show you some of the comments. Where are some of these people? Because I had to write comment after, oh, Facebook is not even showing the full comments because Facebook is not showing the full comments because Facebook has some sort of lag issue, right? They have some sort of lag issue where they don't even where you have to refresh and then still sometimes for days they don't even show all the comments. But you know what? We can open up the phone lines because I'd love to, you know what? Let's open up the phone lines. Let's get the discussion popping. There's the number right there, 323-488-3149. And the phone lines are open right now. I'm looking forward to hearing from you all. I'm going to get oh, you know what? I don't have I don't have I don't have Facebook added on my other phone because I feel like a lot of these apps are very toxic and I I'm just not interested in having that toxicity invading my privacy. It feels like abuse when I can't trust to even do a simple search, you know? Here's the phone ringing. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Facebook. I was one of your comments on Facebook.
Oh, so we got the Facebookers coming into the house. So,
Yes, ma'am.
Lucille,
Happy New
let's
Year, Miss
hey,
Tanya.
happy new year to you too. Let's talk about it.
Yes,
Let's
let's
talk
get
about
into
it.
it.
So yeah,
Okay,
so
so mhm.
go ahead. So
so
what is
I
your
was the
comment?
one who commented and said, look, I actually agree with you, but I just feel that this woman's dysfunction is more on the morality side. I totally agree with you. I mean, what is she doing trying to be with her husband, quote unquote, if she's not gonna give this man, sexual intimacy? I mean, that is one of the most beautiful aspects of being in a marriage. Okay, so I totally agree with that. It looks like she wants to get out here and use up men, and have men just take care of her. So I think on that part of it, I mean, this woman royally sucks. But I also feel though that I think the reason why, because you may remember, a lot of the comments were like, well, she still may be an asexual person, and she may not be traumatized. But I think from what I took from that, it's like me. I don't like lima beans, and that's when I made the comment. I'll tell somebody in a minute I hate lima beans, but do I really hate it? No, I don't hate it. It's just that I'm using a quick term, and that's what I thought we all were speculating, because unless we could sit down with this chick and say, hey, what do you mean? She could just mean, I don't get any pleasure from it. I don't feel anything about it. So I don't know. She may be using a stronger word than what she really means. But at any rate, clearly she's an asexual person, because, bottom line, she's saying she doesn't get any pleasure from sexual activity. So that's pretty much where my comment was, where I was trying to sum it up. She may not hate sex, but she may just have an aversion to it, like you were
You know
saying.
what? I'm sorry, but okay. First of all, thank you so much for calling in with your
Mm-hmm.
comment. I'm happy that you did call in because I think it's important to have these conversations. Let's start out with your first point. There are
Mm-hmm.
asexual people in healthy, functioning relationships all over the world. Sex is not a necessary part of a romantic relationship. It is a part that is included in relationships that have that component, but it is not necessary. It may be necessary for some people, but for those people whom it is necessary for, those people can seek out other people whom it is also necessary for, right? Let's start out with
Mm-hmm.
that because asexual
Mm-hmm.
people do exist. They have relationships, they have friendships, right? They have romantic relationships. They're in long term committed monogamous relationships as well. I think it's a matter of finding the right person for you in that respect. So that's that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about the second part of your statement. There's too many ifs. Maybe she said the wrong thing, and maybe she meant this, and maybe an if and that. For all of these things to come together, were you the person that I responded to that said there are too many ifs in your statement?
Right, exactly. But so the thing,
Okay,
Tanya,
but
I didn't mention any ifs.
let me finish up. Let me finish up, right?
Okay.
There's just too many unknowns, there's too many contingencies to make your statement valid. She said what she said. She used the word hate. She took the time to put up that post. Now you're talking about lima beans and maybe she used too strong of a word or maybe this or maybe that. That let's not infantilize her and let's not create some other narrative other than what it is that she explicitly expressed. Can we do that? Can we do that?
Prophesy, Papa. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give.
Okay, here I'll give you the sound.
Prophesy, Papa.
All right.
Okay, I'll give you that, Tanya. Okay, so I hear what you're saying. You're saying, look, let's just go with what she straight up said, and let's
Yes.
not try to speculate beyond that point. I
Yes.
got you.
Mm-hmm. Let's take
Well, I
her
have to say I agree with that.
at her word because let's she's talking about marriage. She's not talking she doesn't seem like a child. She could be, but from her picture she's fully developed in the front. So let's imagine that this grown woman is a grown woman and let's listen to the words that she said. And I think far too
Mm-hmm.
often we women we hear somebody saying something and we're like, "Well, maybe they meant this." He said I'm a rapper and I don't want to get married and my mother tongue kissed me, but maybe he meant something different. No, 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 no. He meant exactly what he said. Exactly what he said. Okay.
Okay, well, Tanya, listen, I want to thank you for clarifying. That's why I wanted to call you. And listen, I have to agree with you, but I do have a quick question for you, if you don't mind, because I don't
Yeah.
want to take up too much of your time. So, my question to you, though, you did mention that asexual people can have, like you said, romantic relationships, but
Yeah.
are you saying they can do that with other asexual people? Or because I can't see how it can work with someone who's not also
Well, you know
asexual.
what? I'm not an expert on that. Maybe an asexual person can call in. It is my understanding that asexual people will have relationships that work for them, but there has to be, for a healthy relationship, there has to be some sort of intimacy. Intimacy meaning that you can talk openly and honestly, but that you can share with this person, that you can be intimate with them, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
can imagine
Mm-hmm.
that there are asexual people who are okay with open relationships, asexual people who are okay with relationships with people who are past their sexual prime, or maybe have a different sexuality, or I don't know. I can imagine that for each relationship, that those people in the relationship are going to have to decide what is going to work for their relationships. You know what I mean?
I see.
So
Yeah, I
it
see.
looks very different for different people, and we have to be okay with understanding that there are relationships outside of the scope of our understanding, and this is why we have these types of discussions, because there are different people who are living different types of life. I sat down and I picked the brain of my associate who is asexual, and he was telling me and explaining to me his thoughts on
Mm-hmm.
intimacy, how he does have intercourse if that is something that his partner wants to do, that he will, and he's had intercourse before and he'll have intercourse again, but that is just not something that he really has a desire for. Like how say, like some people, you pull down and they see that tender flesh, and then the next thing you know, the heart starts beating fast, and they're like, oh. But him, he says he could see that and appreciate it for the beauty that it is, but that he doesn't feel the palpitations and the desire for that type of thing, and
Mm,
that he could take it or leave it, but it's not anything that he hates. It's not anything that
I
he's
got
like,
you.
get away from me, bitch.
Right, right.
It's
So
not
he's got
any
the
of that.
ambivalence. There's an
Right.
ambivalence there.
Right,
Gotcha,
right, right,
gotcha,
right, right. There's an
gotcha. Well,
ambivalence, not a hatred,
Tanya, listen,
not a.
I'm
Go
gonna let
ahead.
you run. I thank you, but listen, do me a favor though. I do
Yeah.
want to see you talk about Drake putting the hot sauce in his condom, if you can get around to that story.
What story of what?
Yeah,
I knew that
you
man
haven't
had
heard of this
problems. Where did you hear this
story?
bull
No,
s
this is really
at?
honestly a true story. Check it out. Drake, the rapper Drake, after he had sex with women, okay, it's out there. The tea has been spilled. He put hot sauce in his condom, and he even rapped about doing that. And one of his lady friends just came out to the press and said she had sex with him, and she went and checked the garbage, and he had, sure enough, had put hot sauce in his condom to kill off his seed. Yeah, please do a story on that one.
Is it to kill off the seed, or because this man is so used up that the only way that he can feel any pleasure is by ants biting his member or by hot sauce tickling his fancy down there? Is that what it is? Because I heard, because some of these men, they get around. And after they've had so much intercourse, they have no feeling down there anymore. It's just like a
Listen, I
chopped
don't
off
even know.
plantain from a tree. That's it. They
Listen,
just,
you
they
got to do a
numb.
story on that. Please do a story on that.
I'm
But
not
anyway,
doing
listen,
no story on this tacky nastiness. Don't have me on my channel bringing. I just got me a new publicist too. I can't talk about this dumbass shit, nastiness, slackness. You got some nerve coming on my phone. Get off my phone. Get bye, bye.
Simon, take it easy. Bye bye.
All right. Lord have mercy. We won't come up here with this madness. You crazy? My publicists already don't want me talking about these viral topics, because I have to position myself as an expert now. I ain't gonna have you all dragging me into the filth and gutter with your grotesqueness. I'm gonna be up here and be like, I'm a self-love specialist, and today we're talking about Drake with hot sauce inside his penis and burning the head of his. I can't talk about this nastiness. There's another call coming in. You're in the air live with Tanya TKO. What is your name?
Hi, my name is Khaleesi.
Kalechi?
Khaleesi.
Oh, Khaleesi. Oh, so I thought you were Nigerian. Your Kalechi is a Nigerian name. Well, welcome, Khaleesi. So,
Oh,
Khaleesi,
thanks.
are you going to tell us about how you a boss? You the first one to sing on the track. Is that what you're doing today? Come talk to us, Khaleesi.
No, I'm using, an alias because of what I do for a living, but I just wanted to chime in on the topic that you're discussing.
Okay, so come on,
Yeah.
Khaleesi, talk about the topic.
So, I rolled the video back a little bit to see the text that you're talking about or the
Yeah,
message,
I'll put it up right now while
and
you're
I mean,
talking. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So, I work as a therapist, and based on just what I read, I don't know this woman, of course, but sometimes when I've heard similar sentiments,
Mm-hmm.
working with clients, it is related to trauma. Either trauma or sometimes a negative relationship in the past, which can be traumatizing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think, maybe what angle she's coming from. I could be wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
could be, but when I've heard this in session, when there's like a physical shutdown and they're
Yeah.
not connected with their body,
Yeah.
they do not want to engage with another person in that manner. Something has happened to them to where they are cut off in that manner, and it may not feel safe for them to be
Yeah.
vulnerable in that manner.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm glad we got a therapist on the line. I appreciate you for calling in.
Yeah,
Question, because like I said, I am open. I'm open to changing my mind about whether or not people
right.
who are sex averse versus hatred for sex
Hmm.
also need a form of healing. So, what are your thoughts on
Right.
that? And if there's somebody who's asexual or somebody who is sex averse,
Hmm.
if you could call in, because that's the one that I'm on the fence about. I can sway back either way on
Oh,
that one.
okay.
But from a therapist point of view, sex aversion versus sex repulsion or sex hatred. Can you have a
Right.
healthy relationship if you have an aversion? Aversion is the definition of aversion is an extreme dislike. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think it depends on because everyone, we all have such different ideas of what a good relationship is. But I think for most people, that involves sex and a healthy sex life. So for me, when I think of someone who's asexual,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about that particular, way of being in terms
Yeah.
of asexuality,
Yeah.
but theirs may not be rooted in trauma. Just may be a way that they are, but for a repulsion,
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that most likely, not in all cases, it's most likely something to do with some sort of trauma, either an
Okay.
attachment trauma. It doesn't always have to be sexual. It could just be something to do with lack of safety
Okay.
or
Got you.
a relationship, a romantic relationship that felt transactional or that felt abusive, even if it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't physical abuse, emotional or verbal,
Mm-hmm.
that can lead to an aversion and feeling like, okay, this group, men think this way, which may not be accurate, but that may
Okay.
be their thought process.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to hatred, we can agree that there's definitely something that needs to be looked into. When it comes to
Right.
aversion, it's possible that there could be something to be looked into, but not necessary. But we're talking
Right.
about an
Yeah. I would
extreme
definitely.
dislike, like a person who has an extreme dislike for sex. I don't
Hmm.
know. An extreme dislike? Like not liking
Yeah.
it
I've.
or being neutral to it, but an extreme dislike? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, and I've had clients. I've worked with couples. I don't work with couples anymore, but I have in the past. But I've worked with a lot of, just individuals, And for some women I've worked with, they suffer with, I can't recall the name, I think it's vaginismus or something like that,
Oh, okay.
but they feel pain physically in their vaginal
Mm.
region, and
Mm-hmm.
it will constrict and won't, kind of yield in the way that it's supposed to. They don't use
Yeah.
tampons. I don't know if I'm being too graphic. I apologize.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's something that has to be worked through so that they can relax enough to enjoy sex.
Yeah.
And some people, it's about their anxiety. They may be doing their laundry list and to-do list in their head instead of like, okay, being in their body and in the
Mm-hmm.
present.
Got you. I'm gonna look up
Yeah,
vaginismus and see what we can learn about
yeah,
vaginismus. First one on the list too. All right.
yeah.
Vaginismus is the body's automatic reaction to the fear of some or all types of vaginal penetration. Whenever penetration is attempted, your vaginal muscles tighten up on their own. You have no control
Right.
over it. Occasionally, oh, this sounds deep. I can't. It's not on the screen anymore. Let me see if I can go back. Oh, it says occasionally. It says whenever penetration is attempted and your vaginal muscles tighten up on their own, you have no control over it. Occasionally, you can get vaginismus even if you have previously enjoyed painless penetrative sex. So it sounds like vaginismus is mental.
Right, exactly. And sometimes there is no specific trauma to speak of.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like I said, it's related to just this aversion to being penetrated. Um, and it's more like an anxiety issue. Is the best way I could describe it. Another thing that I've seen is a woman may start off enjoying sex, but maybe after childbirth, she
Oh,
develops an aversion,
I got you.
either, maybe from the way that her labor and delivery went, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the differences in the relationship show up a lot in terms of
Mm-hmm.
the division of labor. And
Yes.
with before children, you can't really feel it, but once a baby comes, you really
Yeah.
see who's pulling their weight and who's not, and there can be some resentment. Like, no, I'll
Got
focus on
you.
my children. I'm done with this.
Got you.
So,
Got you. Got you. Got
yeah,
you. Got you. All right. So just to kind of summate everything,
right.
vaginismus vaginismus may not come from past trauma, but it comes from some sort of mental health issue.
Yeah, a challenge. Yeah, usually rooted in anxiety. So,
Okay. So
like
there's
sort of like,
definitely, oh, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
oh no, that's okay. Sort of like, I guess some people get anxious when they drive over a bridge or something like that. Like just the visual or the idea of them being penetrated or something entering them, it frightens them. Some of these women even avoid gynecological visits. They'll go years without visiting a gynecologist. So it's more like a anxiety,
So
a
now they
fear
got all
underneath.
types of
Yeah,
cervical issues going on because they ain't getting their damn
right,
checkups because of. But bottom line, this person needs mental health care. Bottom line, they need to
right.
see someone. But you know what? But I wonder what happens when you combine this mental health issue with entitlement and feeling this derogatory sense of entitlement, emboldenment over your partner, where you are
Right.
lasciviously lusting after the thought of rejecting them and demanding that their duty is to care for your needs and that's all. I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like there's some other things. If from a therapist point of view, reading this statement, what comes to mind for you?
Hmm.
I hate sex.
Hmm.
Even if I get married, I won't allow my husband to touch me. His duty is to work and take care of my needs. That is all.
That sounds, it sounds painful. And like on a spiritual level to me, that's a lot of missing out on the beauty of a relationship and the give and take, and it sounds sad to me.
Okay.
And I would feel bad for whomever her partner is.
Oh, goodness.
Because
Really? That
it
doesn't
should
sound like
be.
a therapist point of view. I want a therapist point of view, not Khaleesi's point of view. Come on now.
Oh,
Let's get a
okay,
professional.
a therapist
Let's get a
point of view.
professional
Okay,
point
I'll
of
rein
view.
it in.
Okay. All right. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I'll rein it in. So I would definitely say that she would need some individual therapy. I would recommend therapy with a sex therapist who specializes in women's issues like vaginismus, trauma, making sure they have a background with trauma and maybe EMDR to see what's beneath that, because there's either a trauma, vaginismus, and if none of those pan out, most likely she may be asexual, but I doubt it. They usually, it's usually not about withholding sex with someone who's asexual. It's more about they value the other aspects of the relationship. So I can't speak for all of them, but I can't see them making a statement like that about their asexuality. They would still feel the need to be giving in some other areas, but hers sounds very one-sided.
Gotcha.
So I would say a sex therapist, EMDR, brain spotting, something like that.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you so much. We appreciate your point of view. All right. Well, you have yourself a great rest of the day.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So the phone lines are open. We're getting many different points of view on this. This is the statement here. A young lady who decided to take to Twitter to tell Twitter how much she hates sex and how when she gets married, or if she gets married, she won't allow her husband to touch her, and that his duty is to work and take care of her needs. So this is what we're talking about right here. This is what we're talking about. So what I want somebody who can call in who may be you know what, I think we had a knockout who is asexual. And listen, all of the people who were on the Facebook page chomping at the bit, let's hear it. Let's hear your point of view. I want to see, because if we don't have any more calls, then here comes the call now. Here we go. Let's take this. You're in the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
This is Dara, Miss Dara.
Hi, Miss Dara. Oh, hi, Miss Dara. How are you doing? Welcome to the call.
Hey, Tanya. I'm great.
All right. So let's talk. Let's talk. What is your relationship to this topic?
Well, I'm one of those late bloomer people who didn't have sex with a man until I was like 27 years old anyway. Up until I was about 23 or 24, I was convinced that I didn't really like them at all. And I still don't really like them at all, but I do like to have sex with them at this point in my life. I'm almost 35 now. I did have a point where pap smears were very painful, where I really couldn't get those, where sex was painful and uncomfortable and things like that. And that made me feel a way about sex. And I felt like people were like too sex crazed. And I thought that maybe even I could be asexual at one point in time. I do not believe that anymore, though. To hear something like this, although I don't feel like men are entitled to anything, you're planning to what's the word I'm looking for? She's planning to not give intimacy to somebody. Like, I don't understand that. I don't get why you wouldn't get with somebody who either is in the same, where, your opposites attract type of thing or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you planning to deny somebody sex? That's weird.
Yeah.
That sounds really weird to me. That's the part that I think is weird. See, when I had an aversion to it, I just wanted to be left alone. I wasn't out seeking out partners just so I could deny them sex. That's crazy.
Okay.
I think.
So you said that you used to have an aversion, but for sure
absolutely.
You don't anymore. How do you know you don't have an aversion anymore? What's going on?
Well, I mean, I had enough sex to where I actually started to enjoy it. And what I also recently realized is that sex is not supposed to be painful, or maybe I didn't recently realize that. But one thing, sex is not supposed to be painful. If a
Right.
woman is actually into it, she's not supposed to be like extra tight. If you're actually enjoying sexual activity, you're supposed to like be able to loosen up and enjoy. I didn't realize that for the longest either. So, I don't know. I'll be 35 in July this year, and I don't know. I still haven't had as much sex as I would like. Not nowhere near as much as in everybody else, but I definitely have a more healthy attitude towards sex. I actually would prefer the sex over the relationship part. But if I'm going to be in a relationship, I would prefer a woman for that. But for the sex, guys are cool for that. And I think that woman needs to definitely stay away from anybody until she figures out, like, until she's not saying it in a way like she says it almost like she's ready to hurt somebody, or like it just, I don't get it. It just sounds really weird to me.
Yeah, well, hold on. Let's rewind. Well, thank you so much for all your honesty. Let's rewind just a little bit. You said that you're not interested in the wait. You say you prefer a woman for the relationship, but a man for the intercourse? Did we hear you
Well, I
right?
mean,
Or did you
I've
say
been
you prefer a woman for the intercourse?
I've been with men and women, so don't get me wrong, but my first partners were women. My first two partners were women. Um But so I trust women more, and I'm able to. I had a successful relationship with a woman where we're still really good friends, and she took care of me and still takes care of me and looks out for me. And I don't necessarily think that I can't find that in a man. I just don't expect to. Now I'm open. I recently decided to open my options, so I'm willing to date out now. I was never willing to date out before. But now I kind of feel like that's kind of ridiculous, especially if I want to have a kid or something before I turn 40. I'm going to have to open my options up to more than just black men, or otherwise I'm probably never going to have kids or anything else. But just maybe if I get out in the world and get around some different people, some different men, maybe I won't feel that way. But based off of what I see in my everyday life, these men really don't have anything else to offer but sex. And a lot of them aren't even good at that. The nerve. But, that's another story.
Well, all right then. I have a few follow-up questions. So you felt that you were sex averse, but your first partners were women. So women and whatever it is that was showing up in these relationships had you sex averse, is what you're saying.
Yes, and you know what? I actually do I could still benefit from seeing like a sex therapist or something like that, because I'm still very, I still feel like I'm very new, and I still feel like I'm not, all the way comfortable like I should be, and I still have a lot of anxiety behind sex and stuff like that, but not so much so that I don't know how to enjoy it now is all I'm saying.
So my
It's a,
question though, um, so you said that your first partners were with women, so you were attracted to women starting out.
Yes, I knew I was attracted to women when I was really young, but definitely by the time I turned 14, I knew for sure. So women were my first romantic partners. My first love was a girl. So yeah, I've
So
never really
then,
been in
so
love with a guy. Well, I was in love with the first guy I slept with, but besides him, you
okay, so
know,
hold on. So you were attracted to girls. You realized by the time you were 14 that you were definitely sexually attracted to girls. But then when you went to go do, you were underwhelmed and then turned off by intercourse with women?
no. No, it's we. I don't think we got enough time, Tanya. We have to do this like offline, like on Zoom or something. I don't think we got enough time for me to for
Oh,
me to
you
kind of
just
break
wanted to
down
drop
the.
in and just leave your little gems and then jump off the phone and leave us with questions.
I'm just saying, like, I don't want to take up all the time, and I don't think we got enough time for me to explain like my journey so far with
I
my
just want
relationship
to
with sex.
know. I need to know. So she put her vagina on you and you were like, I'm not with this.
No,
Or
no,
was
no.
you,
I'm not. I don't have an aversion to women at all. I'm just I don't know. Like I said, I'm still very anxious, and I'm still like nervous. I'm concerned about being good and stuff like that still, because like I said, sex is still pretty new to me. I haven't been with as many people as most people, almost 35-year-old would have been with. So, and I've had like long relationships, and I get stuck on people for a long times and stuff like that. So, and it's really hard for me to sleep with somebody new. That's the whole demisexual thing. So, like, I have to have certain feelings in place and everything to even be able to let somebody touch me. Like, it was a point where I didn't even want people to give me oral sex, but like, when you get with somebody and they're like, no, I'm not trying to hear that, and they kind of just don't allow you to entertain your insecurities. Those are the type of partners that work best with me, because I need people that will like respect boundaries, but also push me out of my comfort zone and stuff like that. So, I don't know.
What?
And then, childhood trauma. I think childhood trauma plays a part in it as well.
Oh, so there's some trauma in there that you need some woman to push you back and start munching on you as you say no, no?
Oh my God, Tanya. Oh my God. No, like, I can't explain it. Like, I have an ex. She, we all, before we get taught a lot of stuff about our vaginas, right? And so a lot of women hate their vaginas and stuff because of what we're taught. And so for a long time, I didn't realize we all had our own separate smells, our own separate scents. I knew that I liked the way I smell, but I still knew I know I have my own specific scent or whatever. And it took for an ex-girlfriend to be like, oh my God, like she loved the way I smell. And it took that for me to realize, oh, okay, like, hopefully you're getting where I'm going with this. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but like it took.
So you're saying you had some insecurities based on teachings from your childhood, but when you met this one young woman who was like, yes, this aroma which you have, the fragrance is one which I am inclined for, and she was adamant about coming into contact with this aroma, that you then became comfortable with allowing her to taste of your nectars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I guess there's a lot to unpack here, but I'm glad that you helped clear up a lot of the confusions that we had, because I didn't know if I was confused about the early part, because so I don't know what you're gonna do, because they're not splitting eggs.
As far as how I identify sexually, I identify as bisexual or pansexual sexually, but I feel like I might be homo romantic mostly, like but I'm still figuring all that out now. That's the joy of it now, is like I don't have to know right now, and I get to discover myself and find things out about myself, and I get to have fun, because I wasn't in that place in my 20s. In my 20s is really when I should have been doing all of this and discovering myself, but in my 20s I was nowhere near healing or working on trauma or even knowing I had trauma. So I guess I'm gonna be a late bloomer, but I feel like my 40s might be a little lit.
Well, it should be the lick. No pun intended. Well, pun intended. Pun intended. Pun intended.
So yeah.
All right.
Any people with an aversion to sex, they shouldn't be dealing with people who want to have sex. That's just crazy.
I mean, but you said it worked for you once, you were taken over the edge. So,
yeah.
I don't know. All right, Dara,
Yeah.
we appreciate you calling. We have a lot to discover on another phone call. People are asking questions now, but we have time limits. All right, so thank you so much for calling in.
I'll go in the comments and try to respond to some questions if they're not rude, because I know they can be ruthless in the comments. So if it's rude, I'll probably just block them. But
no,
if it's
they
not
have
rude,
questions about the difference between homoerotic and all this other stuff, but we got to let the call go because we've been on for 11 minutes now. But we appreciate your insight. You could go ahead and jump in the comments. Maybe, you never know. This might be a chance to meet others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll respond in the comments for sure. But I love talking to you, Tanya. I love the Leo energy. I love the show. And I fucks with you, So I hope you have a great day.
All right, you too. All right, bye. This is so funny. My goodness gracious me, oh my. I've learned some things today. I have learned some things. I heard an apple come in. And so here, we got an apple that has come in. Let's read the apple real quick. Let's read the apple. So, Callie sends $5 and says, "I love you. You always make me smile and laugh. Thank you." All right. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So phone lines are open. Listen. I don't even know what to make of today's conversation. It has been very interesting. So phone lines are open 323-488-3149. Today we're talking about this particular meme that is going viral on my Facebook page. If you're not a part of my Facebook page, you might as well go on over and like the Facebook page too. It's a different crowd over there. It's very toxic on Facebook. Even the asexual people decided to muster up all their passions to start trying to verbally beat me down today. So it's a strange place on Facebook. But hey, listen, we got a call coming in. You're on the air live with Tanya. What is your name?
Hi, Tanya. Oh my God. Oh, I'm Hannah. I'm from Bronx, New York.
Hey, Hannah, Bronx, New York, and the hizzy. Hey. So talk
I'm getting
to
your. I
us.
got hearing in the jail as we speak. So look
What
out for
happened?
that.
What happened? You said what?
I said I got your earrings.
Oh, you got the earrings on right now?
Sure did. My friend was like, "Oh, those are cute." I was like, "Yes, girl. This is Tanya, TKO. It's Black owned. She loves them."
Ow. Well, you know what? You have to send me a picture so I can post it on IG because I'm going to be posting some
I
pictures
will.
today. All right, wonderful.
I
Just
definitely.
tag me with the word knockout with lips instead of the O. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Just like the earring, you see, where they have the lips instead of the O at the back. So, yeah, so absolutely. All right, so Hannah, let's talk.
Okay. So, all right. Now about asexual, it's no shade to the lady who was just up, but that's not what asexuality is. Because I am
Oh.
one. So,
Oh, we got an asexual person on the phone. Hey, Hannah.
yeah.
Hey. All right, so you're going to clear this up for us. You have to excuse me. I'm doing a detox right now, so I'm my watering. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. So asexuality, it doesn't mean like you can have an attraction to someone, but it's just engaging in sexual activity. Like most girls in high schools, they see a guy, they're like, oh, blah blah blah. I want to be his boy. I want him. They're attracted to them, and then they're like, oh, okay, well, they're boyfriend girlfriend now. They're hanging out. You create memories and stuff like that. But once it comes down to sex, like it's easy for the connection to happen. Now, for me, I'm a 28-year-old virgin. Now, sexuality, it can have underlying conditions, like as you said before, like trauma, or like, now I'm gonna give you an example, like with mine is I had really strict parents, and all they told me was if I do anything, I'm going to hell. So it's a lot that I got to unpack with that. But yeah, with me, like I'm a cute girl, I'm cute. So
Of course,
I
you're from
have
the
an attraction
Bronx.
with guys. Yeah, oh. I have an attraction with guys, but I don't have that. Like, how can I explain it? Like, how some girls, they just, oh, I can't wait to see my man. I don't have that. Like, I'll be in a relationship and like I try, like, but it doesn't. And I had guys throw their dicks at me, like take them out right in front of me, but it's not there. Like I'm checking my health records just to see, maybe, because they just say, certain women's libidos aren't as high as everyone else's. But yeah, like I'm really trying to get it together, like even with like masturbation, trying to, really explore my sexuality, but I don't have it. I don't have that interest. And I know it's like one of those things that, it bothers me because I'm like, damn, like what the hell is wrong with me? Like I talked to my mom about it too. Like, like, do you think, because during my childhood life, I lived with my dad. My dad was a military man, and he was strict through Christianity. So I didn't go on dates with guys, like I didn't have boyfriends. And if I did, like they were hidden. Like, I don't know. Like,
You only 20 something. When was you supposed to have a boyfriend, child?
I just said, like, the girls in school, I don't know. Like, so
Who
I
in
saw
Black families was dating under 18? Oh, let me do a doggone
Girl,
survey out in
I'm
this
saying,
mug right now. Hold on, let me do the survey. If you come from a black family and you were dating under the age of 18, put the age up at which you know what? Put the age up at which your parents first allowed you to start dating. That's it. If you're from a black family. I know other cultures, do things differently, but I want to see if you're from a black family, put up the age that your
oh no,
parents allowed you to start dating.
I'm from
I
black.
want to
Like
see
I
this
lived in
where
the
you could bring a
my
partner
mom.
home. I want to see this. Go ahead. Go ahead, Hannah.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know. I never knew there was a name for it. And my therapist, I'm a schizophrenic as well. So she had mentioned, like, have you ever heard of this? And I'm like, yeah, it sounds like me because I don't know. It's really weird. Like, my therapist like, do you watch porn? I'm like, no. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't know. I don't get the natural, and I'm trying to figure out if it's fear, is it the fear tactic that I was engraved under. But yeah, no
Yeah,
guy
well, you
has
know
ever been like,
what?
oh,
Listen,
he's the one.
continue to search. I need to address some of these people over here. Because somebody said 13. They trying to say that they were in a black family and their parents allowed them to start dating at the hell damn
Yeah,
teen.
they were playing booty tag after school.
Listen,
Like,
playing
it was a
booty
lot going
tag is a
on.
lot different than being like, oh, I can come home and be like, this is my boyfriend. My parents accept this. And people putting out
Yeah,
all types of numbers.
it's true. Like, you should type in what if like those who had a boyfriend that were hidden. They were saying, yo, that's my
We ain't
boyfriend, because
talking about
it was
no
a lot of
hidden, but you know what? I need to do a new survey. Come on, let's do a new survey because y'all not following the assignment. Let's follow the assignment. I want you. I'm going to change it up. I want you to put in front of your answer, so I know that you're answering the new question, M for male, F for female, and the age at which your parents would accept you coming home and introducing a person as your boyfriend or girlfriend if you come from a black family. Black, okay? So let's see this now. Come, talk about it now. I want to see M for male, F for female, and the age. Not when you decided to take your little heated behind out there and start exploring your oats. I'm talking about when your parents accept you coming home and say, okay, this is my
oh
boyfriend,
man, yeah, oh
mom.
okay, oh okay.
17, 16, 15. What the devil?
Somebody said 12.
Really? Male 16, female 14?
Yeah.
15, I had a baby at 16. Well, child, if your mother wanted to be a grandmother early. Female 15, female. Wow, that means my parents were female 14. That means my parents were strict. I don't know. This is crazy. 16 female, young lady 14, female 17, male 14, female 15, male
Mhm.
14. Male 11. Now, that's inappropriate anywhere. Come on now. 11, you're going to come and be like, Mom, this is my girlfriend.
Nah, I about 11.
Female, never. This is too much. Listen, I never, ever, listen, I don't know. I don't know what is going on here. Let me finish reading these. Let's see. They never liked it. Female 19, female 14, female never, female 15, mom didn't know. We're not talking about mothers not knowing. See, people not understanding the assignment. Listen, I was married to my childhood sweetheart together for 29 years. Was married. This is past tense. Are you a widower now? I said dating, not sexual exploration. Exactly. Where you can come home and be like, this is my boyfriend. Female
Oh my
12.
gosh, did you read KY's comment?
And this person says, Omo Obalala. I don't believe you. Because you're African too. I don't believe you. Unless, of course, your parents set it up and you were a child bride. I don't believe you could bring home no boy at 12 to your African parents. Stop this. This is crazy. My mom said he's cute, but he has AIDS. What? No, I didn't read the comment you said. Wait,
Couldn't read KY.
I can't read it. It's gone. What did it say?
Couldn't not till after my mother passed.
Somebody said that their mother had to pass away first. Man, oh
Oh
man,
boy.
I learned a lot today. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So they're asking about me. I came to my parents when I was 13 and I said, listen, I want a boyfriend, right? They said, no, not till you're 16. And I said, okay, well, I want to get my ear pierced. They said, okay, go get your ear pierced, right? For my second holes, which is right there. And then I came back to them at 16. I said, listen, I want to have a boyfriend now. And they said, no,
Oh,
no, no, not until you 18. And I said, okay, well, I want to get my ear pierced again. And they were like, okay, go get your ear pierced. And so I had 3 holes in my ears now to this day
era,
because of that.
era?
Hmm?
What era was you? The beeper or the track phone?
Oh, you so doggone crazy.
I
Listen,
tried to
and
figure out, you the
by the
70s?
time I turned 18, my mother died when I was 19, so then I had to date
Oh
unsupervised.
wow.
This is how I became Tanya TKO because I had to navigate through these cold, hard streets out there alone. I had to come up with my own rules and regulations for keeping myself safe and learning how to navigate and being comfortable and all that other stuff. So listen, dear, you're going to have to spend some time really diving deep into your past with a therapist, especially if you say that you came from a strict background in which, your parents were, made a lot of religious shame on you and stuff like that, because you say that you're asexual, but there could be some other things going on that are contributing to your asexuality. And I wonder, what is the difference between a person who is asexual and a person who is not interested in sex after trauma? So that's my
Mm.
question right there, because I think that in the under the umbrella of asexuality, there are a lot of people, like there are some lesbians who hate men, but that is not a defining, facet of lesbianism. You don't have to hate men to be a lesbian, and you don't have to have an aversion to sex to be asexual. You just not have an interest in it. And it
Mhm.
does not have to be trauma related at all. As a matter of fact, I think that the true asexuality is not trauma related, because if your asexuality is spurred by trauma, it then if the trauma is healed, are you still going to be asexual? Will you then, once you heal what's going on, now have an interest? So I think asexuality to me is something different. But I don't know, and I'm open to the dialogue, because I know that a great number of men who are now homosexual became homosexual after being touched inappropriately as a child. So is that person really, homosexual, or were they inducted into a lifestyle against their will as children and then followed suit because that was their first contact? And I really don't know, because it's stunning to me. I would say of the homosexual men that I've met, about 95% of them were touched by men as children. And so it begs to question, are you then following the trajectory from your
Oh.
induction? And so very,
Mhm.
very few men, very, very, very few men that I've ever spoken to have spontaneously come to homosexuality, less than 5%. And I'm being very honest about that. And I'll open back up the phone lines because I wanted to get off, but I can open up the phone lines if there's anybody who has some insight on that in particular. So Hannah, it was such a pleasure speaking with you. What would you like to say before you jump off?
Man, please stock up on that vitamin. What was it? E or something on your page. But everyone, check out Tanya's page. She's awesome. She's an amazing Black woman. Okay, we have to support our sisters and enjoy your day.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much. DX in the house. All right. So that's very interesting. I'm gonna open back up the phone lines for one more phone call, and then we're gonna jump out of here because I've been on this kick of wanting to keep videos short, and I also have to jump into packing because we are getting boxes out today. So if you ordered from my website, I have 40 makeup packs left to ship. I'm doing 30 of them right now. I just have to put on the finishing touches. And then after that, we're going to start putting boxes out the door today. And then after that, we'll only have 10 makeup packs. And then I have to count how many vitamin E orders we have. But yeah, so we have under 100 orders left on the website right now. And I'm so excited about that because I am ready to move on into the next phase of this year. You're on the air live with Tan. Oh, we lost the call. Let's open back up the phone lines. Again, the phone number is right here on the screen. 323-488-3149. I'm refreshing the apples. I've really heard of gay men being touched. 95% seems too high. Really? Well, you know what? You have more access to gay men than I do. I'm only speaking from my own personal point of view. 95% of the gay men whom I've asked or had conversations with about their past, 95%. And I don't know if so see you're gay, so you have more access to different types of gay men. And then also, is a safe space created for them to actually talk with you about their childhood trauma? But 95% of the gay men whom I've spoken to about their past have been inducted in through non-consent as children. And so I wonder, I mean, we can do a survey right here because there's a number of, and this is really for informational purposes only. So please answer honestly, right? If you, so we'll do zeros and ones, right? If, oh, the call is coming in. Let me grab that real quick. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name? Hi, I can't hear you. The call is just it's not connecting or something like that. So I'm going to let you go because there's no volume coming in from you.
Okay, I probably
Oh,
had it on mute. Can you hear
oh,
me
oh
now?
yeah, I hear you now. I hear you. Yes, you're on.
Oh, okay. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing? Welcome. What is your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Warner Robins, Georgia, just south of Atlanta. My
Okay.
name's Rhonda. I've scrolled on your live as Rhonda, not your typical answer.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome in, Rhonda. Welcome, welcome. So
Thank you.
what is your comment about the topic that we're talking about today? We were looking at this
Okay, I
meme.
jumped in on the
Mhm.
asexual, uh, the young lady that talked about her relationship with women, and then you jumped to men. I don't know which one I really want to talk about. I just want to talk about me. As far as the asexual part, I always wondered what asexuality was. At one time, I considered myself bisexual. I was married. I have 2 children, my preference being women. Not to say that I don't want penetration or anything like that. It's just my preference.
Okay. Okay. Well, we were talking about this meme that came through, and the meme says, I hate sex. Even if I get married, I won't allow my husband to touch me. His duty is to work and take care of my needs. That's all.
Well, I think sex is part of one of the needs. I, if you're born without wanting any type of sex, now sex can come in many forms and fashions,
Mm-hmm.
like touching, cuddling, things like that. Sex doesn't always have to be penetration,
Okay.
to have sex. That's where I think intercourse comes in. So to say someone is asexual, let's just say I wanted to label, I'm not into labels, wanted to label myself asexual. Well, I'd have to be with somebody that loves to masturbate. Why? Because I don't want the intercourse.
Mm-hmm.
Am I coming off where you can understand it a little bit? Because I'm really confused about asexuality and pansexuals, and I'm from the old school. I'm 64 years old.
Okay.
So when you come up with all these sexual labels, I'm not into that. And to say you're going to marry a man and not allow him to touch you, I'm not sure where that's coming from.
Well, let me ask you
Where
this
is she
question.
really coming from?
What is it that made you feel that you were asexual? You said you once felt asexual or thought you were. Where
Be-
did go ahead.
Because I didn't want to be penetrated anymore. Last time I was with a man was 2005. It's 2022. Does that make me asexual as far as the label is concerned?
Are you sliding around with women
Yes.
intimately with
Yes.
sexually?
Yes.
So then
I'm
that
single now, but right now I'm single, but if
well,
I
if you're
were
over
to
there
be in a
sliding around
relationship,
in the bed with women, then you're sexual. You're having sex.
so what exactly is asexual? Can you enlighten me on that?
So you coming into class late, jump on the phone calling. Don't know what the topic is or even the definitions of what we're talking about. Well, Rhonda.
Oh,
Well,
my
well,
bad. I
well.
watch you so much. I just wanted to get on here. My apologies, Tanya.
Well, so listen, so
I love your
asexual.
show, okay? I'm going to let someone else come in and
No,
I'm
no,
going
no,
to
because you're the
continue
last
watching.
call of the day. You're the last call. So you rounding out the conversation on this. So just to let
Awesome.
so just to let people know, my understanding of asexual is having um a non-interest in sex, a natural non-interest in sex, regardless of who it is that you're attracted to. You could be attracted to a person, but not have any desires for masturbation, for porn, not feel your heart racing when you see things that would typically arouse or turn on other people. But you do have the ability to become aroused, but you just don't have the interest in sex and those types of things that lead to climax, etc. So
No,
that is
that's
what
not me then.
well,
That's not me. And the meme that came in, I don't know. That's scary. That's scary. I hope she finds somebody that can cater to her needs without the sex.
yeah, well,
I don't have anything else to say. Thank you for
so
allowing
let
me
me
to
ask
come
you this
in.
question. How were you with a man for so many years if you were really wanting something different?
Well, because when I was 14, I became interested in one of my high school girls, and my mom found a letter under my mattress. So, with it being a taboo in my home, I went into the military and I did find a guy that interested me. And I found out we clicked not just physically or mentally or spiritually, but sexually as well. I mean, he
Okay.
kept me pleased sexually. We married and I had kids. But that's the only man I ever found that could do that for me. The
Okay.
rest of them, they will fly by night. I just, if they couldn't fit his shoes, they weren't worth me marrying. I mean, you don't jump out the frying pan into the fire.
Okay, but you
So,
said at one
I
point
did
you
have an
just
interest in men.
but you said at one point you just did not want to be penetrated any longer. What was it that happened before that?
I don't like sex toys.
Oh, so when you did not want to be penetrated anymore, it was not by a penis. You just don't want to be penetrated by sex toys.
Penetrated at all.
Right.
I
So
just
what is
like oral sex. Yeah,
right? So what is it that turned you away from? You said that you were with your husband and the sex was great and he kept you pleased. How many children did you all have?
two.
Okay, so two. If you had
Yeah,
seven,
two
that'd be a
sons.
different story. So you had two children, and then when did you stop enjoying or liking or being interested in penetration?
In 2005.
So you all broke up or he passed away.
No, no, this was a guy I met randomly in 2005. We
Oh,
dated for a little while, and when I moved away and whom he moved away, I just shut the door on men. I just shut the door.
so hold on. What happened to your husband? Where is he now?
He's remarried for 37 years.
These numbers are not
He's
adding
remarried.
up. These numbers are not adding up. You said you're only 65.
That's correct.
How can
My
he be
youngest
married
son
for
just turned 37.
How can you be 65? Let me get the math out over here. Let me pull up the calculator because
I
65
had my
minus
first
30.
son when I was 26.
Hold on. 65. I gotta make my thing smaller.
I'm 64. My baby is 37. My oldest is 39.
65 minus 37 equals 28. I had no
Yes,
idea. Oh, wow. So, wow, that's a long time. You've been alive for a long time. God.
yes,
I
I
didn't
have.
realize that you could be married, have a 28-year-old and then still 40 years be between you. Wow. Okay,
Yes,
so how long were you married to have two children?
5 years.
Oh, so you were only married for 5 years. And
Yes,
then
because
after
my
that,
my
because
attraction to women creeped in our bedroom, and it overwhelmed him.
wait,
So we parted.
what? Hold on. Your attraction to women
Yes,
creeped into your
my
bedroom.
sexual attraction to women creeped into our bedroom. We shared a friend of mine for his birthday.
What?
A year later, we're divorcing because he told me out his mouth, not my wife.
Hold
He'll
on.
do it, but not with his wife. Okay, well, and it's
Hold
not like he didn't know this before we were married. While we were dating, he knew this.
on.
He
He knew
knew my
what?
attraction to women. That's why I say, as far as labels back then, and all this is happening in the 80s.
Hold on.
He knew I was attracted to women, and with all this going on, we still had a bond. And my sons tell me it was only for me to have children, Mom. It was only for you to have us. And
Hold
I
on.
believe that.
I need to understand this. I need to understand this. So you got married, but he knew that you liked women when he married you.
Yes.
How did he know? Did
I
he catch you
told
at
him.
the you told him, oh, he didn't catch you at the cantina hugged
No,
up with a
no, no,
woman.
no, no, no,
Okay.
no. I'm a very honest person. And day one, I want you to know who I am.
Okay, so you told him, you said, listen, I have this attraction for women, but I like you, you interest me, and I'm attracted to you as well. And what was his response to that?
Let's get married.
His response was, let's get married.
Yes.
All right, so then you married him. How long into the relationship did this creep into your bedroom?
4 years.
All right, so for 4 years you were faithful. You didn't cheat on him. You didn't go slipping and sliding with some woman.
Correct.
All right, so for 4 years you were faithful, and then you said, hey, honey, I got a birthday treat for you.
Correct.
Has he been cheating on you at this point?
later on, I found out, yes.
So he had been cheating on you. You were faithful. What was it that made you decide to give him this treat of a threesome?
There were rumors going around that uh, him being in the Marine and being on a ship for a month at a time. See, we both were in the military.
Hold on.
That there were men that had their eye on him.
Men had their eye
So,
on him? This doesn't sound like
yes,
Marines. This sounds like Navy.
I.
The
It does
Marines.
sound Navy, but guess what? He was on a naval ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hold on. So there were rumors that there were men who had an eye on your husband. This is what you're saying. That rumors
Yes.
had it that men had their eye on your husband. Did your husband
Yes.
have an eye on them too?
It was well hidden if he did.
So there
I
was
mean, there was one that came to our house,
yes.
and before I could close the door, he's upstairs in our bedroom. Okay, I get on him about that and have him wait till Gordon gets up. Oh, I didn't mean to call his name. Get up out of the bed and come downstairs. Well, all while we're conversating in the living room, he's crotch watching. He's watching my husband's crotch. Listen,
This story don't.
I
What you
need
talking
to write
about,
a book.
Rhonda? Hold up. So you're in the
We are
living
way off
room.
asexuality. I know now I am not asexual.
That's
And
fine,
if
but
I
let's
were
finish.
to
We need to
marry,
talk about this
male
crotch
or
watching.
female,
Hold on. He came and was sitting in the living room, crotch watching. So you were looking at him, staring at your husband's crotch after he had already been
yes,
up in the bedroom like he knew his way around your home.
yes,
So when you found out later on in the marriage that your husband had been cheating on you, you had found out that he was cheating on you with women or men.
women.
So he was cheating on you with women. So then when you
Yes, I
decided,
found out through the phone bill.
okay, but hold on, let's go back. You say that when you decided to give him the threesome, there were rumors of men who had their eye on him. Why is it that rumors of men having their eye on him made you decide to bring up a threesome?
Because I wanted it, and I wanted to share with him. If he wanted to keep his quote-unquote bisexual life hidden, I didn't. And I
Okay.
wanted to share that moment with him, and my girl friend, not girlfriend, my girl friend was down for it too. So when he came back from the club, we were ready.
So how did you present this to her? You said, listen, I had my eye on you. And how did you present this to your girlfriend?
No, she was a Greyhound bus driver. She had her eye on me.
But she was just your friend? And you kept a woman
Yes.
around who was attracted to you?
She approached me once when we went to Las Vegas together.
She
My
approached
husband
you?
allowed me to ride Greyhound free of charge with her to Las Vegas, a turnaround trip.
Oh, all
Yes,
right.
but
And
we
then
had
so
to
when you
stay
were there,
overnight.
oh, and then what
She
happened?
approached me
Where? In the room?
in Las Vegas,
In the room or by the elevator?
in the room. I
She
might
appro-
have fell for it had it been the elevator.
Wait, she approached you in the room saying what?
Touching me. Nothing was said. I am the one that says no.
Oh, so how long
So
had you two
there
been
was
friends?
really quiet. It was the touching, the feeling, and then I pushed her away. No, I'm married. And that was the end of that. And it was a silent trip all the way back to California.
So hold on. If I'm to understand what you're saying, how long had you two been friends before this Las Vegas trip?
I want to say about 6 months, six,
Where did
7 months.
where did you two meet?
We met. Where did we meet? You're bringing up memories. I like that. Um, we met on the base at a club. That's where we met, at a club.
Okay,
She
so
had
you
friends on the base, so she could get in on the base to the NCO clubs. I mean, the
okay.
enlisted clubs. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
And that's
So,
where we met, at the club.
and how did you two happen to meet at the club? Was she dancing and you looked on the floor, or did she come up to you, buy you a drink? How did you two happen to meet at the club?
My husband and I sat at the same table as her and her friends, which were all
Oh,
female. It was three of them. And there were two seats left in the whole club. And we
oh,
sat down. Yeah.
okay. And then you all got to talking, and then
Yes.
everyone was
Yes.
cool. All right. And so you and her just kept in touch, and then your husband was
Yes.
like, "Okay, you could go on this free trip with whatever her name was." And then
Yes.
you get to the hotel, and then nighttime comes to pass, and the next thing you know, your greyhound friend is up in arms, fingers all over you.
Yes.
You swipe her way. No, I'm married. Though if it had happened by
Right.
the elevator, you may have given in, but in the room where no one knows what really happened in Vegas, you told her no.
No.
All right. And then the rumors had been floating around about your husband and his hankering for hunks, right? Or
Correct.
hunks hankering for him. And then
Correct.
you
Now,
said,
mind you, I
mm-hmm.
really don't think he was the one bending. He was the one bending them over.
All right. Okay, that's fine.
If that's true.
Okay. All right. Okay. So then you said to this woman, well, I won't be with you one on one, but my husband, it's his birthday coming up, so let's give him a treat. And she said, okay.
Yes.
And then
Let's
he
have a threesome, point blank.
and then so you had thought about her after the room,
That's correct.
and you were like, why did I tell her no?
I knew why I told her no. I'm a faithful person. When I'm
Okay.
in a relationship, that's it.
Okay, okay, okay.
Anything I do, my
I
mate
we
knows about it. And I'm
Okay.
that way today.
All
I
right.
was in my 20s then.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. So then your husband comes home, you will have this threesome. In the threesome, you went full throttle with the slipping and
Yes.
sliding. Everything.
Yes. Yes.
And was he into it during the act?
He was the first time.
Hold up, hold up, hold up,
The
hold
plot
up,
thickens.
hold up, hold
There
up.
was
First
a
time.
second encounter, and he was turned off by that one.
So wait, so what happened during the second encounter that went above and beyond?
The second encounter, when he came, it wasn't like the first.
What
He
was the
asked, why
difference?
was she there in our bed? And I told him, we're waiting on you. He said, no,
So
no.
you had already gotten started. We're in the bed. Did you have clothes on?
I was fully dressed.
And her?
She was in the bed waiting on us.
So hold on, hold on. How she got in your house and then ended up nude in the bed?
She came to visit and asked, could she do it again?
And she just took off her clothes and jumped in the bed.
Well, no, Tanya, it wasn't just like that. I mean, we talked, had a few drinks, sat around, and then I told her to go get ready. I'll wait on him to come in.
So then she was already ready in the bed. You didn't warm her up. She was just already ready.
Correct.
And then he
Correct.
came home and you said, well, listen, honey, I got a surprise. Enter into the bedroom. And she was in there.
Right. And he did not like it at all. I
Okay.
saw a different side.
What type of different side did you see of him?
He did not want it.
Was
He did
he?
not want to repeat that threesome.
So what was the different side? Did he
It's like
start
he
breaking
told me
things?
when we talked about it months later. It was fun for his birthday. He said, but that's something he does not want to do with his wife.
Okay. Okay.
That's how he put it. Not my wife.
Okay.
So
So
that led me to believe he was not willing to share me.
so this other
Although
woman.
he was cheating on me, and I know that for a fact from the phone records.
Okay.
But yeah,
So he came in. You said you saw a different side of him. What was the different side? Was it a different level of anger, a different level of disgust? What was it?
I think it was disappointment. I think he was disappointed that I would do it again. Like a
Okay.
shock, a disappointing shock.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
something he really didn't want to do. I think the intoxication did it for the first time. Like I said, it
Okay.
was his birthday, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
just coming home from work with a sane mind, he didn't want it.
So this other woman, how much like you did she look? Did she look like you? Was she opposite from you? Was she masculine? Was she feminine?
She was more feminine.
She was more feminine than you. Interesting. And then
Yes.
so then a year later you all were divorced and then so now you're back out there on the prowl. Single, ready to
Uh,
mingle, 28, young and fertile.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you waited until 2005 to get with a man again. So between the ages of 28
No,
and
I was with men after the divorce. It's just they were tricks, to be honest.
wait, wait, what do you mean? Wait.
You know what I mean,
No,
Tanya.
I
Come
don't
on.
know what you mean. I don't know what
You
you
don't know
mean.
what a trick? Am I that old?
I know what a trick is, but you said that they were tricks, but this doesn't make any sense. What do you mean they were tricks?
They were tricks. They were just men that I laid up with for whatever reason.
For money.
Yes,
So you started selling yourself.
yes. I was real hurt by the divorce. I was. And
So,
in the process, I found a female, I want to say 12 years younger than me. You might as well say I robbed the cradle. We hit it off, and that was my girlfriend for 15 years.
28, you don't have much wiggle room for a person 15 years younger than you. 28 minus 15 is how much? That is 30 minus, listen, 30 minus 15 is 15. And then you take 2 away from that, that's 13. What the hell are you talking about?
No, 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 no. No, I was 30. She was 23. That's only 7 years.
Oh, I thought you said she was 15 years younger than you.
I might have made a mistake because I did have another one that was 17 years younger than me.
Not at the
I
age
mean,
of, not, oh,
older.
some Freudian slips are going on over here. So,
I know. I really like this. You're bringing out stuff I tried to stuff, I guess. Try
so,
to forget.
oh, so you left this relationship and you then started prostituting yourself. Is
Yes.
this correct? Were you, and did you need the money to take care of your children?
No. No, I didn't.
So All right.
I was hurt. I don't know why I did it. You know, I turned to the streets. I'll put it like that. I was so hurt. I turned to the streets.
Wow. Where were you meeting?
I went home to my mom. You know, when you have that life, everybody's looking up to you, so proud of you, and then hey, I lose my husband, I lose everything. Oh, you got me in tears. I come
Oh,
back home to mom. Uh,
take your time.
Now I found some old friends. They went into the streets, and there went I flying to the streets.
So they were helping you meet people for these arrangements.
Somewhat, something like that.
And then so what was it that took you out of the streets? How old were your children at the time?
They were babies. I
Like one
just
and
had a
two?
newborn baby. My
Oh.
youngest son, he was less than a year old. The other one was 2 years old.
Oh, wow. So then
Yeah,
and then so you took to the streets. What was it that got you out of the streets?
my mom.
What happened that your mother was able to get you out of the streets? Was it an incident that happened, or did she find out you were out there, or what happened?
I got sick and tired of the streets.
Okay.
And in 2005, I had a change. My whole being just changed. I had just lost another girlfriend to a man. So I'm like, hey, so I checked myself into the VA center in Dublin, Georgia, and I was there for over a year. That's where I met the guy, the last guy I slept with. That's
Okay.
where I met him. And I changed my life for the better. I got a government job. I got a bachelor's degree in business administration. And
Okay.
I'm now taking care of my mom that has dementia. I've been taking
Oh.
care of her since 2013.
Okay. 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 Well, congratulations on that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Now
Congratulations on
I'm
that.
single, but I'm looking for a wife.
Okay. So last few questions though. So you were out there in the streets. What age did you go into the streets? 30, 28?
30.
So you were 30 and in 2005, how old were you then? That was 20 years ago. So you were
Uh,
45.
2005.
Let's take 60. Let's pull
I
up the
was born in
calculator.
57.
Okay. So hold on. Let me clear up my calculator and see if we could get the math here. Let's
Yeah,
clear
because
this.
I don't remember exactly how old I
So
was
you
in
said you were born
2005.
so 2005 minus you said you were born in what year? 1950.
1957 minus 2005.
So you were 48. So you were in the streets for 28 years? You couldn't have possibly been
Yes,
selling yourself for
thank you. Yes,
28
yes,
years.
ma'am. Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
So your children grew up without you?
In and out. I was in and out. My mom helped raise them. That kept them out of the system.
So you turned to narcotics as well?
Yes, I was a crack addict, ma'am. I'm clean today.
Wow. So, oh, wow. So your mother discouraged you from liking girls.
Yes,
Then
day
you
one.
went and you met this guy. You married him. You had a newborn and a 2 year old. Then you started feeling, yourself again. You got back with a woman, to do the threesomes with your husband. Then he rejected you. You went out into the streets. Then you started trying to numb your pain with crack cocaine
Yes, and
and
alcohol.
and alcohol. And then you stayed in the streets for 28 years. And then in 2005, you checked yourself into the VA rehab program. You met a guy, and then that was the last guy that you had intercourse with. After that, you decided that you were going to live your truth and be with women.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I know a lot of it was very entertaining, but this is a real true story. Well, a
It is.
story
Someday
that
I'm
you.
going to write a book. I really
Oh,
am.
so question for you. What was it that turned you onto your first hit of crack? How did that come about?
The Greyhound bus driver.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
not Lucy Las Vegas, who and came in and
No, it
just.
was way after that because when my husband and I separated and I moved back to Atlanta, we kept in contact for 2 or 3 years.
And did you two ever get with one another outside of the relationship with your husband?
Yes.
So you two did try to make a relationship work,
Yes.
and it didn't. It didn't.
No, it didn't. My mom wouldn't allow her in the house, and I didn't have any money to um, acquire a place of my own at that time.
Okay. So how did it go from that to crack, and how did she bring the crack into your life?
Well, when she came to visit me, she asked about it. I asked around, and while we're at this house, they're cooking it up, and I walk in the kitchen. What are you doing? There's smoke everywhere, and they told me freebasing. That's what it was called. At that time, they were freebasing, and nobody said anything. I just watched. I said, let me try it, and off to the races.
So whose house was this?
A friend of mine house that
But
I had
how
met
but
when I
how was
came
she,
back home.
but how was she,
A lot of my high school mates were crack addicts, a lot of them.
yeah, but how does that relate to Lucy Las Vegas? How did she get into the mix with the crack?
She came to Atlanta to visit me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she no longer worked for Greyhound. I don't know what she was doing. Obviously nothing, but
But
she
then
told me she was on furlough from Greyhound and she had
okay.
some time.
But then how did she,
So
you said the person's house that you saw the freebasing at was a friend of yours. But how did Lucy Las Vegas introduce you to crack? Was she there? Did she bring you to the house? Did she jump on
no,
the
she
rocks?
asked where she could find some powder.
Oh, she came to visit you and she asked where she
Yes,
could find some
yes,
powder from you,
yes,
and then you started asking around. Then you went to a friend's house to get her some powder, and then that's when you saw people freebasing.
yes,
Was she there with you at the time?
yes.
Did she
I
start
took her
freebasing?
there, but I was sitting in the living room while they transact in the kitchen.
And
I'd never been all over this person's house. Mind you, I was not into drugs at all, but I knew where the activity was because a lot of my friends did cocaine.
okay.
Yes.
So we're talking about 1985, 1995. Around what year was that?
My youngest was born in 85. The
Okay.
divorce was final in 86. She came the like Christmas of 86, left that January.
Okay.
Chronologically speaking, back like March, and that's when it started.
Okay. But
So it
so
was
you
like her second visit.
okay, so she left in January, then she came back in March.
Yes.
All right. And then so she was like, well, where can I get some blow? And then you were like, well, I know a place. And then you went there, you were waiting in the living room. What was it that made you decide to take that first hit?
You know, that's hard for me to answer. The only answer I can think of is inquiring minds want to know. You know, I smoked weed, so I know what it did to me. I did that in the military,
Okay.
and I had drugs in the military. So like weed, I used to snort. It did nothing to me. THC, PCP. I did everything except shoot heroin, LSD. But I maintained my composure. It's when I got out, got a taste of crack. It hit me, and that was the end of that.
Okay. Well, I
Crack
think
was. You ever seen that movie where Chris Rock say it's calling me, man?
yeah.
It was calling me, Tanya. It just the demon just set in my soul, and I was off to the races.
Oh, wow.
And
Well,
I think that had a lot to do with the relationship too, because number one, my mom wouldn't let her in the house. The first time she came, she got a room, so we was like in a room. None of
okay.
this surfaced until she came back that March.
Okay.
And she had a room for like a couple of days. After that, I'm smoking crack. Now we ain't got nowhere to stay. Hey,
Oh,
she had to get back to California because my mama, she wasn't here.
so question for you then. You said when you were in the military, you were snorting THC, PCP?
No, no, I smoked THC
You smoked
and weed.
THC, you sm
Yeah,
you smoked PCP.
yeah. My life is a story. You'll be on here another 30 minutes.
Now I'm just trying to figure out the chain of events. So you were in the military and you were able to do PCP, smoke THC, and you said some other things.
This
LSD.
was in the 80s, yes. We weren't
Okay.
being drug tested.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so this all kind of just came about from like parties or people said the military encouraged people to use drugs. Is this true?
Um, I won't say they encourage it, but they didn't discourage it either.
Okay.
Almost everybody was doing it, from
Got you.
the just fresh out of boot camp to the generals.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
Yes.
question for
So
you.
Vietnam, with them coming back,
Yeah.
morphine addicted. I mean, what can you say? You out there where all these people at? You done got hurt. You done got a taste of morphine is addicted.
Mhm.
Just like that crack. When I hit it, I liked it. It became addictive.
And
But I had
so
already had a history of drug use from my 4 years in the military, and I did 6 years in active duty, which I
okay.
did. Um, what year did I do that? I got out in 80. In 85 and 8, wait a minute, 83 and 84, because I had my first son. I did 2 years of inactive. By then, they were starting to drug test us.
I got you. I got you. I just want us
Yeah.
I just want to remind you that in this conversation, you said when you were sitting on the couch that you did not do drugs or any of that. But then,
Not at that time, not after
okay.
my marriage. Well,
Oh, okay.
okay. How can I put this? I wasn't associating my married life with my military life because I was an inactive drug user in my married life. We married after I got out of the military.
How long were you in the military? A year?
4 years active duty, 2 years inactive. reserves.
Right, but you got married
6
at
years
20.
total.
Yeah, but you got married at 20. So you had to have been using drugs when you were married because you got out of the you got married when you were 20 years old, weren't you?
No, I didn't get married when I was 20.
You got married when you were 23.
Yes.
All right. So you got married
I
when
had
you were
my first child when I was 23 and I was married.
okay. And then you had your second child when you were 27.
He was born 1985. First one was born 82. I married in 82. The second one was born in 85. We divorced in 86.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then so you had to so I'm like the numbers the 6 years because if you were in the military for 6 years and you got out of the military and you were married for
No,
five
I
years.
did my
Mhm.
reserve time. When I did my reserve time, we were married.
Okay. And so you said that you were using before when you were in the military, but not when you were married.
Correct.
Okay. So
Although I met the Greyhound bus driver when I was married, there were
yes.
no drug usage.
So
I
you
didn't even know she was on drugs.
so you
If
stopped
she was.
right. So you stopped using drugs when you were
Married.
but right, but so so you went into the military at what age? 17?
18.
You went into the
18.
military at 18. Okay. So 18 and 6 is 24. You got married at 23. So there had to have been some little bit of overlap unless you stop, but that's not important. That's not important. I my
Yeah, because
mind is
I'm bad with dates.
no,
I'm
it's
really
okay.
bad
It's
with
just that
dates.
my mind is very literal and it makes me a really good book publisher because I'm able to there's chain of events because I'm so literal chain of events like if there's a break in the chain of events it doesn't make sense for me. So I used to edit people's books because if I read something in chapter 3 like people who write books they sometimes change the story or change a character in the later chapter but because of the way my mind works when the story breaks my mind is like ugh something is not right like this
Right.
was something else. So okay, but that doesn't really matter. The question that I really want to ask
Well, it
is,
would if I was writing a book because I want my life written
yeah,
and
I
I
understand.
want a movie made. I really do.
I hear
But
you.
that
Yeah, you know what? Last question, no, last question. Why did your husband not take care of the children when you went into the life on the streets?
awesome question, Tanya. Awesome question. He was there for the birth of the first one. I mean, he was there. He was in the delivery room and everything. He took, like I say, he traveled a lot. So he had a trip to Japan. And see, ooh, this is deep right here. We had a little spat. I left him for 2 weeks. I went to stay with the girl, the Greyhound girl. I went to stay with her for 2 weeks. He came and got me, begged me to come back home. We had sex for about a week straight. That's when I got pregnant with the baby. He went to Japan. I write him in Japan. I find out I'm about 5 months pregnant now. I'm guessing he's forgetting all the laying up before he went to Japan. And he denied the child for 18 years.
Oh, interesting.
He met him. He finally saw him at 10, but he refused to believe the child's ears looked just like and need to be on Maury.
Interesting.
He didn't take care of that one. But I never spoke ill of my husband.
Right, but he
I
never came
never
even
took
for the
out
first
child
one.
support, none of that,
No,
ma'am.
he never came to look for his first child that he did claim. He never came to look for
Oh,
that
he took
child.
care of him. The military made sure that. He got a check every month. which
No, but
went to my mom
right, but I'm
because I was
talking
in and out of the streets.
right, but I'm talking about physically taking care of his child, his person.
No, he was not
Okay.
in their lives like that physically.
Okay.
No,
So this guy, it sounds like he was a bum.
but he really wasn't. He wasn't.
I'm sorry, but anybody who abandons their child is nothing but a bum to me. There could be more, but there's some
I
bum in
understand.
there.
I
There's some bum
understand.
in there. Anyone who abandons their child, male or female, anyone who doesn't take care of their child, they got some bum in them because it's not the child's fault that the relationship didn't work out. You don't see your child, you don't care for your child. This is problematic for me. But
Now
none the
that would be another chapter in the book because the wife had a lot to do with it. A lot.
so he got married right after you two finished,
Right after.
which means she was waiting in the wings.
She was the one he was cheating with
Uh-huh. And do
before
they have
that was
children?
the number I found in the phone records.
Got you. And they have children together?
No. He claimed he got himself fixed while he was overseas, but he married into a ready-made family just like I did. He had 2 kids when I married him. And the plot thickens.
Child, listen, you're right. Listen, thank you so much
You're
for,
welcome.
for calling in. You have thoroughly given us a lot to think about today, a lot to contemplate. We had gotten some apples while you were speaking. I'm going to see if any of the apples were directed towards you in case anybody had a question. Um, all right. They love you. They love you. Somebody is writing she loves you. Let me read the apples real quick. Let me read the apples.
Maybe we can
Oh,
get together, Tanya, and you can write my book.
me?
Yeah. I don't know the procedures or what it would take. I know it takes finances, but
Well,
before I take my last breath on this earth, I want my story told.
And you know what? One of the things that you can do is if you are really passionate about this story, you can audio transcribe your book. And from the audio transcription, you could probably shop it around and stuff like that. You can even Google you can start looking for a literary agent. I'll cut this part of the video out and then I'll republish it and then you can shop it around and see if people want to buy the story. But Tony Parker sends a message and she says, "Ladies and gents, this is how you interview." So she enjoyed the interview. So
Yes.
Josette came in and said, "Can he call in once a week for story time, please?" They think you're a man because your voice is deep. This is a woman.
I know, right?
A woman named Rhonda.
I get that. I get that a lot.
And then
I
Tony,
get called sir,
I'm sure.
and it's not offensive to me.
And then Tony calls back in and gives another apple and says, "All these follow-up questions are on point. Love it, love it." Okay, thank you, Tony. Thank you. And then Tony comes back and says, "She makes street life sound comforting." Was the street life comforting?
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
All right. Well, wait,
I
are you in the hospital right
I
now?
was looking for love in all the wrong places.
Hold on, are you in the
Because
hospital?
a lot of things happened to me in the streets
Yeah.
that I should have been dead, Tanya.
Listen, I hear you.
I should have been dead.
I hear a hospital beep going on in the background.
You hearing what?
A hospital beep going on in the background, like the machines in the hospital.
Oh, I apologize for that. No, that's my front door camera letting me know something went by.
Oh, okay.
That's the alarm system. My
Okay.
apologies.
You said before you left the earth, you wanted to tell your story. I didn't know how soon that was coming, if that was your hospital thing beeping. All right.
Oh, no,
All right.
no. That's the alarm system alerting me
Okay.
something went past the front door camera.
Got you. All right. Well, you know what? We appreciate you calling in. This was a dynamic phone call. I'm running behind schedule now because I have to go do boxes. Oh, there's another apple that just came in. Let me make sure that let's see what the apple is having to say real quick. Let's see.
But
Rhonda,
I
it was
really want to thank you, Tanya, because I've never been interviewed before. I've never gotten over the phone on a call, any of that. You know, you try to call the radio station. None of
yeah.
that.
Well,
You are my first experience at this.
Oh,
And it
okay.
is my joy I'm feeling now is overwhelming.
Oh, what
Thank
is
you
it that's
so
making you
much,
feel so
ma'am.
much
Do
joy?
what you do in 22.
Okay.
I
Well, what is
love
it
it
that has you feeling all of this joy right now?
because I got a chance to share who I am.
Oh.
And I got a chance to show it to or tell it to strangers.
Mm.
I actually got interviewed by a celebrity. And I'm
Oh.
so grateful that I do follow you.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Thank you. I didn't realize I was a celebrity, but thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Finance Diva sends a message to you. Hold on. We have to pull up this one. She sends
Yeah, because
she's
I'm on the phone. I can't see it, I don't think.
Yeah, no, that's cool. She sends a message and says, I wrote my own book and relived. So she's saying that when she wrote her book, I guess she was reliving the experience during the writing of her book. So I guess it is can be very cathartic. When I was writing my self-love book, it was very cathartic for me as well to really kind of release those things. So we
Yes,
appreciate you, Rhonda. Thank you so much. You can jump into the comments. Are you watching on Facebook or YouTube?
Facebook.
All right. Well, you could jump into the comments
Yeah,
on the
I got
video
your
on.
alert every time you come on. I'm alerted.
Okay, wonderful. Well, jump into the comments over there and let people, if you feel like it, let people know who you are. Maybe somebody might be a publisher or know a contact or something, or you never know what might lead to what. All right. So thank you so much for
Yes.
coming through. We appreciate you, and you have a good rest of your
Thank you,
day.
ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Bye. Wow. So this was something else right here today. My gracious goodness. We had a dynamic show. Let me give you your heart right now. All right. And Tony, let me give you your heart. All right. So listen, I appreciate all of you for coming out and participating in today's show. I have to get off to go do today's boxes because today is Friday and I don't want to miss today. So we have to get some boxes out today. So listen, I appreciate you all very much. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? Love yourself. Here we go. Go ahead and throw up your boxing gloves. And I will see you all in the next video. Make sure that you're subscribed. If you're part of the text notification crew, you will be getting your text every time we go live so that you never miss another video. Thank you all so very much for coming through. Thank you, 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 thank you. If you are on Amazon, go ahead and get the Book of Affirmation Self-Love. As we're getting out of here, another apple is coming through. Let me see. Hey! Let's refresh that and get that apple. Hey! Hey! This music be too sweet. If it's too sweet, you know I can't sit down. Alright, here we go. Here's the Book of Affirmations available on Amazon right now. We will do that one more again and we will read our apple that has come in. Come on. Come on. Hey, hey, hey. Come on. Hey, 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 hey. All right, let's see. There's somebody who wrote in and said, I love you, Rhonda. Hey. So they love you, Rhonda. Thank you so much for coming through. Hey. Hey. So what is your self-love lesson from today's video? We went around the world and a twirl. Speaking of twirl, let me do my twist. Hey. Hey. There's another apple coming in as we're getting out of here. Let's see what this one is right here. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Let's read this last one. She says that she is a recovered alcoholic. So she sends $1 in and tells her story. Her name is Hasteput. Hasteput. It's a biblical name, I believe. So listen, I want you all to tell me, what are the self-love lessons that you all learned? Throw up your boxing gloves, throw up your self-love lessons, and let's see. Let's see what you learned from today's video. We went here, there, and everywhere in today's video, but you know what? It all was in the name of the topic. We learned about different facets of sexuality. To me, the self-love lesson that I learned from this video today is that we've got to take the time to explore our own individual stories, explore where we came from, how we got to where it is that we are, instead of just slapping a label on yourself, realizing that sexuality is fluid and you can fall into a particular category as a result of trauma. And it's okay. Listen, we've all had trauma and we don't know how the trauma shows up inside of our lives, right? Ask deep questions, search yourself within. All right. I see that you can always run your life around. Okay. Oh, turn your life around, probably. So let's see the last message that has come in. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Okay, she's a recovered alcoholic for 3 years. That is the last apple that has come in from Hatsheput. I believe, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name properly. But she says that, I love you, Rhonda. I'm a recovered alcoholic for 3 years. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. All right. So listen, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out and participating in today's conversation. If you're not on my Facebook page, make sure that you join my Facebook page, because on my Facebook page, we have, I'm sorry, I need to have this here so I can see the comments. On my Facebook page, we have discussions there about memes. Very rarely do I ever make a video about a meme, but we do have the discussions there. So if you're looking for discussions on controversial and invigorating topics like this one, make sure that you go over to TanyaTKO.com, click on contact. If you want to send an apple off air and not have it read on air, you can send it once we're off air. You can support the show. My earrings are on sale for a limited time only on my website right now. As soon as I finish up sales, I am going to transition out of selling. So we have under 100 orders to get out. 30 of them are going out between today and Monday. So somebody's saying, Tanya, you should ghostwrite for him. That was not a man on the phone. And child, I don't even have I can't not even ghostwrite. Listen, I'm ghostwriting a book. I am co-author on a book with a 12-year-old right now. And that is taking up a tremendous amount of effort on that alone. So I will let you all know. So it's a story about a young lady who, listen, the story that I'm co-writing right now is the story of a young lady who has a twin sister that she has a rivalry with. And after an accident, she ends up not remembering her past, but navigating through middle school life with this new persona, and also these health issues that's the result of an undiagnosed concussion that's leading her into vertigo, nausea, and also a switch in personality, where the crush that she once had is now the crush she had, the friend she had, everything has switched. So it's an interesting story that I'm co-writing right now. I'll let you all know when it's done. I'm trying to get this book done by March. And then when we publish that, then I'll let you, for all of you out there with young children, it's going to be a very interesting book. So I don't know about, so I am not co-authoring and stuff on any other stories at the moment, but that's what I'm working on. But I will see you all. Wait, Stefan says y'all petty. What is going on? I think I missed some things. So listen, let me put our final screen back up. There we go. And I will, it is an interesting book. It is an interesting book. And the purpose of the book is really to get children reading, because I think especially in that age, it's an integral. Let me take the closing off and put the comments back here. That age is an age where if you're not reading, you can get left really far behind. And the young person that I'm writing this book with struggled with reading. And so the book is 10 chapters right now, and the chapters are short. The story moves very quickly, but the purpose of the story and the purpose of the book is to really get young people into reading. And also, you can kind of tell what's going on in young people's minds with their crushes. And at that age, a crush is so innocent, and everything is so innocent at that age. People saying, girl, you should work with Rhonda. Child, listen, if you only knew, because my board game is coming out this year. I just started working with a new publicist. My calendar is booked. So I will see you all. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all so much for coming out. One of you out there can work with whomever you choose. Tell us again how you became so fluent in English and how you have a vast vocabulary. I admire you for that ability. I wanted to have an in-depth vocabulary, so I just started reading these vocabulary books and learning vocabulary and learning all types of words that I thought I would never use. Like, you hear these words and you're like, I'll never use these words, like phantasmagoric and calcification and things like that. You're like, oh, I'll never use these words. And then, you start talking and you realize that there are certain words that actually really truly fit a particular mood. And then I'm also dramatic too. So some of the words that I use are for dramatic emphasis. You know what I mean? So listen, on this, people say stop volunteering people for stuff you aren't willing to do. Christelle, I saw you in some argument earlier in the comments. I don't know what is going on with you all. Listen, I will see you all because I have to get to these boxes. I'll see. This is part of the reason that I only sell once a year, because my passion is not in tangible goods. My passion is in assisting people. This is where I flourish. Part of the reason that I closed TKO Skin is because I felt like I was dying amongst all those boxes, trapped in between four walls. I felt like I was dying. And so I flourish in this environment. This is what I love to do. I just really need to figure out a way to get paid doing what it is that I love to do. Because honestly speaking, I don't really get paid on these platforms. You know what I mean? Like, it's a love-hate relationship kind of thing. So I really need to figure out, like, if I want to get to the next level. Well, let me not say I don't really get paid. Like Facebook, the money on Facebook is good, but on Facebook, it's good when you fit into their small box of what is acceptable content to make. And these platforms know how to penalize you and give you incentives to make the type of content. This is why certain content rises to the top and others don't. This is why you see I have almost 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, 1 million subscribers on Facebook. And on Facebook right now, there are 55 people watching out of the 1 million that are on the page. And on YouTube, out of the 200,000, there are 315 people watching. So there's a lot of politics that goes on behind. So for me, I have to figure out how to pivot and how to make sure that I use these platforms for what they're good for. And they're good for, this is why I talk about viral topics, because viral topics are the only way to get into new people's homes. Otherwise, you see, when I don't make a viral topic, out of my 200,000 subscribers, I'll get about 3,000 views. But if your stuff is divisive and salacious and stuff like that, YouTube knows the algorithm. Certain things get demonetized, and for the most part, when you talk about sex and all this other stuff, when you say certain words, this is why the content creators that you see who are huge, they bleep out their curse words. They have these this formula that works. And the formula that works is moving images and voiceovers. That's the formula that works. Being a first person, moving images, voiceovers with that's the formula that works. And then also a lot of fighting and all that type of stuff. We try to do lessons over here, even if we have to ride the wave of viral topics in order to get those lessons out. This is why I quiz you all at the end of the videos. What is your self-love lesson, so that you can put it out there, so that I know that you heard me, so that I know that you're with me, that we're in this together, and that we're not just out here gossiping and getting rappers to sue us and take us into court. You know the reference right now, because you all know what's going on. But nonetheless, on that note, let me yeah, thank you. Exactly. Let me get out of here, because I really do have to do the stuff that connects me with people. Like, I sell products to connect with people, because even at the product price point, it's not even the money, because it's really about the connection, for people to get their earrings or get their vitamin E, and we form community like that. Because this game right here is, it's a game, and Black women are losing in this game. We're losing. And I'll go into depth more about that in another video. But I love you all very, very much. Go out there and love one another, but most importantly, love yourself. Love yourself. And I'll see you all in the next video. Subscribe to me everywhere. Support the show. Send me apples. Continue to do those things. Write letters. Do testimonials. All of that. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. No foundation. I'm looking good. I am looking good. But I do have on concealer. And I put on a little rouge. I did. I said, why not? And some eyebrows and eyeliner. Why not? Why not? Hey!